All right, everyone. Welcome back to Crypto Brain, the channel where we break down digital assets with logic, discipline, and a genuinely analytical mindset. No noise, no hype, just structured crypto analysis. Today, we're taking a closer look at LilPepe. At first glance, LilPepe clearly operates within the meme token segment of the cryptocurrency market. The branding is culturally familiar, visually recognizable, and strategically designed to capture rapid attention. However, what makes this project worth analyzing is not merely its meme identity, but its attempt to introduce structural framing around that identity. The homepage immediately emphasizes community positioning. This is not accidental. In meme-driven markets, community cohesion acts as the primary engine of growth. Attention initiates momentum, but sustained engagement determines survival. LilPepe appears to understand this distinction. Moving into the ecosystem overview, the project outlines broader ambitions beyond short-term speculation. Rather than presenting itself purely as a trading instrument, it frames the token within a participation-based structure. That is an important strategic signal. Many meme tokens collapse due to liquidity extraction cycles and short-lived hype phases. A structured presentation suggests an attempt to mitigate those risks. The tokenomics model is central to this evaluation. Supply allocation is divided across liquidity provisioning, ecosystem incentives, development reserves, and community growth initiatives. Clear percentage allocations enhance transparency, particularly in a sector frequently criticized for opacity and imbalance. Liquidity provisioning deserves specific attention. A stable liquidity foundation reduces extreme volatility and improves trading confidence. When liquidity is properly managed, it allows price discovery to occur in a more controlled environment, limiting destabilizing swings caused by concentrated exits. Community incentives appear integrated into the long-term growth framework. Reward-based engagement, participation mechanisms, and potential ecosystem utilities aim to create recurring involvement rather than one-off speculative interest. Sustainability in meme ecosystems is largely dependent on active holder retention. Security architecture is another critical component. Smart contract transparency, liquidity lock visibility, and audit disclosures significantly influence credibility. In the current market climate, participants increasingly prioritize structural safeguards over narrative excitement. The roadmap outlines phased development. The initial phase focuses on launch execution, brand exposure, and liquidity establishment. Secondary phases typically introduce exchange expansion, ecosystem tools, and broader visibility initiatives. Later phases, if executed effectively, transition the asset from narrative-driven growth towards infrastructural maturity. Execution risk remains the decisive variable. Roadmaps communicate intention. Delivery establishes legitimacy. LilPepe's phased clarity is constructive, but sustainability will ultimately depend on milestone consistency and disciplined implementation. From a competitive standpoint, the meme token sector is highly saturated. Differentiation therefore requires more than branding. Projects that maintain engagement during volatility cycles tend to demonstrate stronger structural resilience. Distribution metrics also warrant attention. If token supply is heavily concentrated within a limited number of wallets, volatility and manipulation risks increase. Broader distribution generally indicates a healthier ecosystem and stronger decentralization. Should governance mechanisms be introduced, participatory decision-making could further strengthen community alignment. Decentralized input often enhances long-term strategic credibility. White paper documentation, where available, provides deeper insight into emission schedules, burn mechanics, and supply dynamics. Controlled supply frameworks are typically more sustainable than inflationary models lacking long-term planning. Exchange strategy plays a pivotal role in liquidity expansion. Centralized exchange listings often accelerate volume exposure, while decentralized liquidity pools preserve foundational accessibility. Marketing discipline is equally important. Meme tokens rely on narrative velocity, but sustained growth requires balanced communication rather than short-term hype bursts. Longevity is built through consistency, not noise. Macro market conditions must also be considered. Meme assets frequently exhibit high beta behavior, outperforming during bullish cycles and correcting sharply during downturns. Risk management discipline is therefore essential when approaching this segment. Overall, LilPepe presents itself as an attempt to structure a meme-driven asset within a more disciplined ecosystem framework. Branding strength, allocation transparency, and phased development planning are constructive elements. However, long-term viability will depend on execution reliability, liquidity discipline, and sustained community engagement. As always, this analysis is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Independent research and responsible capital allocation remain essential within digital asset markets. If you appreciate structured breakdowns and rational crypto analysis, you're in the right place. This is Crypto Brain, where we analyze smarter, think critically, and move strategically. I'll see you in the next one. Stay informed, stay disciplined, and approach the market with clarity.